Several former tenants of an Irvine apartment building are suing the owners over claims of mold. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu, wherever you stream. I'm David Ono.
I'm Ellen Leyva. One couple told ABC 7 that the mold and water problems caused them serious health problems, and their attorney says their illnesses may be lifelong.
The building owner already sued the contractor and received millions of dollars in a settlement. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Grande has the details, including reaction from the owner of the apartment complex.
It's just heartbreaking to see that she'll never have the life she used to have.
Mark and Ann say it's been years since they lived at the Newport Bluffs apartment village in Newport Beach. They say while they were there, they started having skin issues, rashes, and worse.
We were cognitively affected, and she just couldn't, struggles to form sentences, to remember things. And then she started getting really physically ill. And it is obvious to us 24/7. There's never a moment where I don't know that I'm not the person I used to be.
They, along with more than a dozen former residents, filed a lawsuit claiming the apartment complex had problems with water and mold. These videos, according to their attorney, Alan Bell, show some of the issues.
This case is about corporate profits over human health.
According to the complaint, the Irvine company knew about water damage problems in the building.
Our investigation led us to several whistleblowers who basically have told us that the Irvine company knew about the mold.
The Irvine company denies all of that in a response, which says in part, any statement that it is the policy of the Irvine company to ignore or cover up mold or any other problem at our properties is demonstrably false. We are committed to the health and safety of our residents and have a policy of promptly responding to water intrusion issues. In 2010, the Irvine company had filed a lawsuit against the construction company that built the apartments, alleging there was water intrusion that caused property damage.
And as a result of the Irvine company's lawsuit against their own general contractor, they recovered over $15 million.
That is the thing that I couldn't talk about for years without crying.
Another former tenant, Catherine Duboc, says after a rainstorm, she and her mother complained about a leak, and that's when they discovered mold on the carpet.
It looked like a lot of dirt on the carpet. Well, we later found out that was actually black mold on the carpet that was coming through the floors.
The Irvine company comments specifically about Duboc's case, saying, while we are sorry to learn of Ms. Duboc's condition, we have not seen any evidence that it emanated from mold in her Newport Bluff apartment. Water intrusion issues resulting from construction defects were identified, and Irvine company sued the responsible contractors and eventually settled with them for $15.5 million. Irvine company invested $28.8 million to resolve and repair construction defects and water intrusion issues within Newport Bluffs, consistent with all city and state requirements. Bell says it will be up to the courts to decide.
These people are incurring unbelievable amount of medical bills every month, and it will probably continue for the rest of their lives.
Sinuses, asthma, allergic reactions.
Mold. We've all heard the warnings out there, but some say that they're being exposed to it on their jobs at government buildings across South Florida. NBC6 investigator Willard Shepard found that mold is not only a health risk, but getting rid of it isn't cheap, and taxpayers are paying the price.
Mold in walls, chairs, ceilings. The photos taken at a Miami-Dade County Correctional Facility during an inspection last May. This employee, who asked us to protect our identity, isn't surprised.
I got very sick while working in the building.
From asthma to allergic reactions, she says.
Right now I have to have sinus surgery. I have to have allergy shot.
She and others complained to county authorities. They took pictures, even paid for mold testing. The county recently closed down one of the areas where mold was detected, but the employee says their health is still at risk.
We continue to be exposed to that on a daily basis.
It's not the first time. Just 2 years ago, mold was spotted over safety gear stored inside the building. The estimated cost to clean it, $16,000.
Does the general public come in the building?
Yes, they do.
Since 2013, Miami-Dade has spent more than $2 million fighting mold issues at least a dozen facilities, including Miami International Airport, and the county courthouse, where a cleanup crew showed up last summer.
They should advise people of what's going on and the issues with the building.
Mold was visible.
Mold found in the courtroom behind the wallpaper.
NBC6 found Miami-Dade is not alone. In Broward, employees have filed 36 claims because of mold exposure in the past 5 years. The county tells us about $1 million has gone towards the cleanup efforts since. And we found problems at federal facilities, too.
I was exposed to mold from the first day.
Latta Thomas says he left his job at this federal prison after his health started deteriorating.
I developed rash, I developed breathing problems.
Records show the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as OSHA, cited the prison for mold violations twice, the latest in June.
My physical system was combating mold every time that I was there. And it created a problem in terms of my being able to do my job.
The county employee shares the concern.
They're not providing us with a healthy environment to work in.
Miami-Dade County declined to comment about mold issues at the facility known as the Women's Detention Center. In a statement, the Federal Bureau of Prisons told us they don't comment on personnel matters, and the mold has been cleaned up. Willard Shepard, NBC6 News.
Tuscumbia Heights is a government-funded housing district in Colbert County. Some people who live there say they are extremely unhappy with the management.
Yeah, one man says that mold in his building has made the apartment borderline unlivable. News 19's Addison Willman has the story.
Here at Tuscumbia Heights Apartments in Colbert County, a man says he's been unable to turn off his hot water for almost 4 months. Over time, the hot water has caused egregious amounts of mold to grow throughout his apartment. Despite numerous complaints about the health risks, he says his landlords have not offered to help.
We just don't know what else to do about the situation. It's gotten that bad, and his health is more important than staying in them conditions like that.
Mateo Gargas is speaking out on behalf of his father-in-law, who he says has been subjected to extremely unfair treatment from his landlords. According to Mateo, the resident has been trying to get administrators to help him fix the mold issue, but no one ever comes.
The lady at the main office told him that there wasn't a maintenance man around to fix the issue right now.
The mold has spread everywhere: his walls, his vents, his furniture, and even his clothes.
He leaves the door open and try to ventilate it and raises some windows, you know, and it's not helping any.
According to Mateo, the conditions have taken a serious toll on his father-in-law's health.
He can't sleep at night because of the coughing and gasping for air because it's so bad, it's blowing right there at him.
And this isn't an isolated incident either. While recording this story, I had 6 other residents tell me about the conditions in their apartments. Holes in the floor, bug infestations, and AC units that have been broken for over a month. One woman even told me that the main office has been abandoned for well over a week.
He talked to his doctor about it, and they told him he needs to get out of this place.
Mateo says he's offered to let his father-in-law stay with him, and they are actively trying to find him a new apartment with better living conditions. In Tuscumbia, Addison Willman, News 19.
Now, News 19 has reached out to the apartment administrators. So far, they have not responded. We will be sure to keep you updated on this story here at News 19.